U.S. labor market is a shadow of its former self. 1 in 3 Gen Zers unemployed, and people unretiring. Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Please also share this video with your friends. Thank you for your support. Today, I read several financial news articles. I've included links to the articles in the description below. I encourage you to read the articles to support the authors and news sources. As a private American citizen, I'd like to report and share my transformative thoughts through commentary regarding small sections of these articles that are of public interest. Today, I read an article on CNBC.com written by Jesse Pound, titled, "Here's Where the Jobs Are for March 2024 in One Chart." According to the author, the U.S. labor market surprised economists with its strength once again by adding more than 300,000 jobs in March, with a few key sectors continuing to fuel its growth. Well, my friends, I looked at the chart, and the number one area with job gains was healthcare and social services. I think someone from another country could look at this chart and say, wow, that country has a lot of sick people and families in need of help if that's their leading area for job gains. The second highest sector with gains was government jobs. With the national debt at the level that it is at, do we really need to be adding more government jobs? I'll let you answer that question. The third sector with the most gains was leisure and hospitality. Well, my friends, this might be okay for now, but if our economy takes a turn for the worse, people aren't going to have the money to travel and vacation. When I looked at this chart, I was disturbed by the fact that manufacturing was listed as zero. That's right, zero job gains for manufacturing according to the chart. You can look at this chart by clicking the link to the article in the description below. How things have changed here in America when compared to the late 19th century and the early 20th century. In my opinion, the U.S. labor market is a shadow of its former self. Even though we are seeing job gains in some sectors, there are still a lot of young people who aren't working. I read an article today on Yahoo Finance put out by Business Insider and written by Juliana Kaplan, Ayelet Sheffi, and Noah Scheidlauer, titled, "Meet the Disconnected Youth, a growing group of Gen Zers who aren't working or going to school." The authors referenced new research from the St. Louis Federal Reserve's Institute for Economic Equity, which revealed that 1 in 3 people between the ages of 18 to 24 have no income at all. The researchers looked at a group they called disconnected youth who aren't working and are also not in school. As of 2022, disconnected youth comprised 13% of this age group. Well, my friends, I find it ironic that this group is referred to as disconnected youth because I suspect some of them are very connected to social media, online video games, and movie and TV streaming services. Now, here is something really disturbing. The number of young adults with no income has been on the rise. In 1990, around 1 in 5 young adults said they had no wage or salary income. As of 2022, it's over 1 in 3. This is according to a new St. Louis Fed study. Isn't it odd that we keep hearing about how our economy is booming from politicians and the mainstream media, but then we read about a higher percentage of young people without any source of income? I guess life is complicated for some young people compared to the way it was many decades or centuries ago. At one time, a young person could learn the family business and then be part of it when he or she became old enough. Or they could work as an apprentice at a young age to master a trade and then become a productive member of society. In the 20th century, a lot of young people left high school and went right to work in a factory that provided a livable wage and great benefits, including a lifetime pension, allowing them to retire at an age where they were still mobile and able to enjoy life before passing away. I think a lot of young people are truly lost. Some may have no interest in going to college, but they can't find a job that pays a livable wage without some type of training. At the same time, there are some young people who are really innovative. Some are able to find creative ways to make money in our digital world. For those who are willing to work with their hands and get dirty, there are some less than glamorous occupations that still pay a respectable wage. To my point, One of the commenters beneath this article said, "Anyone willing to learn, show up on time, and pass a drug test can find meaningful work in the trades by becoming machinists, plumbers, carpenters, electricians, automotive technicians, airframe and power plant mechanics, and so forth. Every business I know is clamoring for this kind of labor." Another commenter said, "This is the first generation that does not remember the world before the internet and social media." I cannot say this is a causal relationship, but I certainly think it is worth studying. Well, my friends, I hinted at this earlier with my commentary when I talked about how young people are often very connected to social media, online video games, and movie and TV streaming services. You can waste a lot of time with all of this. This is certainly not the case for everyone. However, I have a friend who is often complaining about his son wasting time with video games and social media when he should be doing something productive. We aren't talking about a small amount of time either. We are talking about half the day sometimes, or he stays up so late that he can't function the next day at all. The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, "I am in Gen X. When I turned 22, it didn't even cross my mind to live at home. Fortunately for me, I found a job 3 months after graduating college in 1996 and never looked back. These kids today are weird. I think a lot of them are disillusioned by what happened to them during the pandemic, as well as wages that don't even come close to the cost of living. And then with college, why take on all that debt if you could graduate and can't even find a job?" The world is one messed up place these days. I do feel bad for younger people today with how things are set up structurally with the economy. But I am not advocating to just sit on your hands. You have to figure out what you want to do and go after it. I thought this commenter had some interesting thoughts, but I don't condone him calling kids today weird. I just don't like people who call others names, especially an entire generation. I personally think some young people are really confused about which direction to go. There is a lot of pressure to go to college, even for people who don't know what they want to do when they grow up. Some are worried about AI replacing all of the jobs in an area that they are passionate about. Some lack parental guidance, and guidance counselors in high school can't begin to understand what type of new jobs may be high-paying in the future. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Here is something that I worry about relating to young people who aren't working. What is going to happen when they get older and want to retire? They are missing out on some key earning years right now when they should be investing some of their income. By not doing so when they are young, they are potentially jeopardizing their future financial security during old age when they may want to retire, assuming they ever get jobs. Retirement is already elusive for some people in America who have been working their entire lives. Apparently, it isn't much different in the UK. I read an article today on Yahoo Finance put out by Fortune and written by Oriana Rosa Royal, titled, "Nearly a quarter of baby boomers and late Gen Xers are unretiring or planning to because they can't afford to kick up their feet in the current climate." The author of this article referenced a Standard Life survey of more than 6,300 UK adults, which revealed 14% of baby boomers and late Gen Xers have already unretired, and a further 4% are considering it. 16% of women over 55 are planning a career return, and 21% of men are planning to go back to work. The main reason why is a lack of money due to inflation. Well, my friends, I am sure some of these people never thought they would have to go back to work once they retired. I am sure inflation caught a lot of people off guard. It has to be depressing to think you can coast the rest of your life after a lifetime of work, and now you have to go back to the grind in order to survive. I'm really not surprised by this, though. The cost of living has gotten more expensive for everyone, unless you live in a tent in the woods with no insurance or utilities, and you hunt, fish, and garden for all of your food. Even then, you may get sick and need medical care, and that has gotten more expensive. If you live in the woods, you probably still need transportation. If you have a truck, the cost to plate it and insure it has gotten more expensive. The cost to maintain that truck has also gotten more expensive. If you are really off the grid, maybe you have a horse. Well, the cost of veterinary care for that horse has also gotten more expensive. Getting back to the article, The author said that for more than a third of survey respondents, the cost of living is now higher than they'd planned for, and 24% said their retirement income is no longer enough to actually live on. That sounds pretty grim to me. It is very sad that this percentage of people can no longer live on the income that they have coming in during retirement. Now, 31% of survey respondents said they want to earn more money so they can make the most of their free time and treat themselves beyond splashing out on basic needs. Well, I can understand this. No one wants to just barely survive. Some people want to enjoy life to a certain extent. Just working in order to keep the heat on and food on the table without any leisure activities isn't really living. It is just surviving. Now, here is some data that I found to be very interesting. The author said almost 20% of Americans 65 and older are employed, which is nearly double the share of those who were working 35 years ago. I have to wonder if this is because fewer people have a pension to live off of during retirement and the transition away from pensions to 401ks hasn't worked out like so many people thought it would. I read some of the comments beneath this article. One commenter said, "Someone that has to unretire has nothing to do with the current climate, but everything to do with what they did in the past." I disagree with this. I believe it may be a combination of both, and it may also have to do with roadblocks that people encountered in their life. If someone got laid off and struggled to find work for an extended period of time, this may have impacted his or her ability to save for retirement. If someone got injured, same thing. If someone had to pay for expensive medical bills for children, that could have impacted their ability to save for retirement. There are so many possibilities. The next commenter said, "Not everybody wears a suit. Some people repair and build. Worn out bodies are not returning to work." I have to agree with this person to an extent. Someone who has worked in the trades may not be able to go back to work as a carpenter or floor coverer, but he or she could always get a job doing something completely different. However, a different occupation may not be as lucrative. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.